This is the plaintiff, Shanice Brown. She says the defendant is her aunt, and she loaned the woman money and can't get her to pay it back. She also lived with her for a while. Her aunt owes her for the money she laid out, and family or no family, she's suing for the $1,797 she's owed. This is the defendant, Philomena Raphael. She says the plaintiff was in a rush to move away from her verbally abusive boyfriend, and they decided to move in together. The plaintiff ended up using the apartment to run her nail business, and when she asked if her 2 kids could use her room, she got all offended. And, well, here they are. She's accused of not being nice to a niece.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says she loaned her aunt money, and no matter how hard she's tried, she can't get the woman to pay her back. But the defendant claims that she helped her niece out in her time of need, gave her a place to stay, and this is the thanks she gets? A lawsuit? It's the case of, I'll stomp on that aunt.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ms. Brown, you are suing your aunt, Ms. Raphael, for money you say she owes you and won't pay. What happened here?
So we both came to a mutual agreement to move in together because she has her own boyfriend issues that she was dealing with that she's trying to get away from, and so was I. So we came to a mutual agreement to move in with each other, and we moved in on January 7th.
Of what year?
Of this year.
Okay.
When we moved in and we signed a lease, the conversation about our kids where my baby was getting put on the lease, she was going to be staying there with me. Her oldest son at the time is already staying with his father. She said it's teenager, it's time for him to learn how to be a man. He's staying with his dad. Her younger 2 boys were staying with their father. She said they were only going to be coming over on the weekends. I was barely there. So the time frame of from January 7th up until the end of January of 2022, I was barely there. I was in and out because I was going back to my boyfriend's house because I was still trying to work on it. That's the father of my child. So I'm over there back and forth. I'll stop by to pick up some things and go. She would ask me every time I would come over, what am I going to do? And I'm just like, what do you mean? The decision was to get this place so I could have a peace of mind, so I could have somewhere to go and to also do my nails. Now, every time I come over, you're low-key pressuring me to try to make a decision right now if I want to go back over there with my boyfriend or if I want to stay here with you. And I'm like, it's the first month's rent. Why do I need to make a decision right now? I've already paid my half. It shouldn't be a big deal.
Did you guys have a lease?
Yes.
And were you on the
For
lease
a
as
year.
well?
Yes, we both.
Well, then the
lease
rush is
together.
that she needs to know if you're going to continue to make rent payments. She's worried that
Correct,
you're going to
but
move back in with the boyfriend and not make
not-
rent payments, right? Isn't
Correct.
that
Okay, so if you're coming to me asking me several times, what am I going to do? I said I'm going to stay here and pay my rent until I get ready to leave. If I've made up my mind to leave, I will come to you and sit down and have a conversation with you and let you know, hey, I've made up my mind. I'm gonna come back over here. Let's see how we're gonna hash this out as far as paying money and making everything suitable for you if I move out.
okay?
I did not do that because that's not the plan I had. I made the year lease because I was going to be there for a year.
Okay. So
I do
what happened
nails.
to make you leave in February in a month?
She came to me like, oh, well, now her oldest son is getting into it with his father. He's not in a good headspace, so she wants him to come back and live with her. This is a 2-bedroom apartment. We agreed on a 2-bedroom apartment. My child was the only child that was agreed to be living there.
How old's your child?
My child is 2 years old.
Okay, go on.
After that, she would call me and tell me how she's tired of her kids sleeping in the bed with her. And then that's why we got into it, because I kept telling her, you're disrespecting me by using my room and going in my
How was
room
she
when I'm not
using,
here.
wait, how was she using your room? What was she doing?
I couldn't even tell you what she was doing while I wasn't there, but the times that I popped up there, my door was open, her child is in there playing with my child toys and whatever else she doing in there.
So what happens?
At this point, this is me agreeing to take my name off the lease because it's not a good headspace for me at this point, because now it's starting to get tension. Before, when we moved in, she did not have any money. So all the money came out of my pocket. Once we got moved in and everything situated, she as far as rent wise, she ended up getting her money in the process of having, once it was time to, I guess, do the rent or the deposit or whatever it may be, she got a lump sum of whatever money she was supposed to be getting.
Well, you're
So-
suing for half of the apartment fee. The apartment fee was $500 and you paid all $500?
I paid that $500, but out of that $500, $250 is my fee, and the other $250 is her fee.
Okay, and so when was she supposed to pay you back that $250?
Whenever she got her money.
Okay, is that accurate, Ms. Raphael? Were you supposed to pay her back that $250?
I did pay her back, Your Honor. I paid more of the deposit because that was the portion that I was to pay her back. So the deposit was $3,000 something odd dollars. So I told her, I said, instead of me sending you the money, I just pay more on my deposit. She agreed to that.
Does that sound familiar?
A part of it does, because she tried to transfer it and she said that her account got frozen and then the money never came and she canceled the transaction, and again, I never saw that money.
Your Honor, I never canceled the transaction. It took a week for that money to transfer from Wells Fargo to Chime.
How much were you supposed to transfer to her?
At that time, it was $406 at that time.
Why was it $406?
She transferred me $200 because of the holiday. My check was still pending in my account.
So she loaned you $200 and then,
She
but
loaned
see,
me $200.
$200 plus $250 is $450. So how did you pay her back the $450?
I paid it back when I made the deposit for
Because
the apartment.
because your portion of the security deposit was bigger than hers?
Correct. She agreed.
How much
to
did
me
she
not-
put and how much did you put?
I paid $2,021.32 is what I paid.
And how much did she put?
$11.47.
How much was rent?
Rent is $17.55. And we also had an additional deposit of $17.25 because she had a lien on her credit. So the deposit ended up being $3,000.
Oh. Did you guys have a discussion that your deposit would be less than hers because her money had come in and that's how she was going to pay you back the $200 and the $250?
I know the $250 was, not the $200.
And there's no dispute that she put down $1,147 for security, right?
Correct.
So what's your position here, Ms. Raphael? She moves out. Does she help pay February or no?
She paid no bills at all. And the reason why I continued to ask her what was her position and what she was doing, yes, my children are here with me. And as a mother, I want my kids to be here with me. Shanice literally moved out 2 days after we signed a lease, after she continuously told me how she wanted nothing to do with the baby, the father of her child. As her aunt, I was concerned and I was worried and I wanted to help her get out of whatever situation she was in because I understood. And that's the reason why I continued to ask her, what was she going to do? The room was messy. It was a mess. It had a smell. The bathroom was not clean. And I asked her, I said, can my children use that room? If you're not going to use it, I'm literally in this house by myself every night. And I didn't ask her to move out. I said, you could still do your nails here if you need somewhere to do your nails. But that was a proposition made by her boyfriend. She told him that she lived in here by herself. And he was trying to figure out a way for her to get out of the lease. And he told her, well, why don't you just do your nails there? That's exactly what she was doing.
Okay. You ended up staying there, correct?
I'm still here.
Right. And you're paying all the rent yourself?
Yes.
And you have your, how old is your teenage son?
He's 13.
Okay. It was a change of circumstance to have your teenage son with you, right? That's not something she had banked on.
No, and it was never any issue with the children at all, ma'am. That wasn't even an issue. Her daughter never went on the lease. None of the children were on the lease.
Yes, my baby is on the lease. It's on the paperwork.
Yeah, I don't see your daughter on the lease. What made you think she was?
The lady asked for her information when I put it down, when I was signing. So that's why I assumed her name went on the lease.
They didn't list her. Did you two have a good relationship, Ms. Raphael, before this?
Very much so, ma'am. I've already tried to make peace with Shanice, and I've already said that this didn't have to go through the court. Yes, I did. Her boyfriend even came and tried to, say, hey, can you just go give her a hug? I let her know I still love her, and I'm trying to come at her at a place of peace because she's family. And this is really hurtful that she tried to take it this far for me because it could have been worked out outside of this. Do I feel like I owe her any money? No, I do not, because she left me with these bills to pay. I had a late fee for the rent, lights when she was in and out. She never really slept here. So I don't feel that I owe her any money.
What do I do with the fact that you sign a lease and then within a month you change your mind because you love him and you want to go back to him and you leave her
I
holding all
didn't
that
change
bag?
my mind about my boyfriend. I changed my mind when my aunt kept antagonizing me and coming at me and pressuring me to move out. And she did not, yes, you gave me an option, but it was not really an option. You're telling me I'm being selfish because I want to keep my room and I'm not here all the time and you can use it for your children. So now I'm labeled as selfish. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how am I selfish when you disrespect me and you go in my room, you use my belongings?
Right, but
The
the
sheets.
remedy to that is to pay rent in February and put a lock on
Right,
your
but
door. Like if it was a
they
different
didn't.
roommate and not your aunt, you would just say, no, you
I
can't
would have
use
had a lock on
all you
my
got to do
door.
is say, no, you can't use my room, and then put a lock on your door, and
That is
then
correct. No
problem
one asked me
solved.
to.
But what you
Correct.
did was what was much more convenient for you, which is to leave her holding the bag of all of the bills. Okay?
No.
Yes, you did. You left her holding the bag of all of the bills. You didn't pay February. You don't give her any notice about the fact that you're going to do this, and then you're just
Yes.
out. You're also suing for $200 in groceries that you bought, and then you moved out and didn't take your groceries with you, so she should pay you for
Her
them?
children ate them all. If I can't take anything, if her children ate the groceries,
How
Your
fast
Honor,
did her
those
children eat
groceries,
$200 worth of groceries?
the
fast,
groceries she purchased are still in the fridge. And I
Okay.
didn't ask
fast.
her to make that purchase, ma'am. And
All
she
right.
Yes, you
Regarding the
refused to
did.
keep
security
hers.
deposit,
Like you
Ms.
said, it was
Brown,
a
Ms.
we
Brown, Ms.
were
Brown,
close.
how would you think that you would be getting your money back on a security deposit when the landlord has that money? How is she going to
Because
all of a
she
sudden cook
agreed
up
to
that
it.
money?
She agreed to give me back my money if I take my name off the lease, and that was the agreement.
Did you agree to that?
Your Honor, I told Shanice that I did not have the money right away to give her, and because we're on a 13-month lease, when the money came back to me from the apartments, I told her she would get her half back. That is what I told her. She did not want to accept that. I don't have
She
money to
told me I
give
had
her
to
out of
wait till
my
the end of
pocket
the
for
Yeah,
this.
year.
I'm going to need to see, Ms. Brown, some proof of what you're saying. That she told you that you have a separate contract with her that if you just take your name off the lease, you'd get the 1147. I need proof of that because she's saying that didn't happen.
It's in the messages that I sent
Okay. Where? What day?
between February 2nd to the 3rd.
You have the right to feel the way you do, but at the end of the day, I clearly said to you, I will give you your deposit back. Will it be tomorrow? No, especially if I'm paying the rent and lights on my own, which is due tomorrow. So if you plan on having your belongings in the room, you'll be responsible for your portion of the rent. You telling me with the first conversation that I wasn't going to get my money, then switching to I got to wait till the end of the year is BS. And you know it. Then you call me demanding I pick one of your three options. The deposit, I need my half. Date and time, please. Thank you. And then you asked, did you remove your name? It's kind of sounding like she says that you agreed you would end up giving it to her if she removed her name.
I asked her that,
Took
ma'am,
my
because
name off.
I was on the phone with the office.
Yeah, but then you're telling her, I just sent the information for my taxes to be filed. Once I get a date, I'll let you know. Not, you need to wait till the end of the year. She's asking you for her part of the deposit to get a clean break from you. And you're telling her, I just sent the information for my taxes to be filed. That sounds like you're agreeing that you're going to pay her. All right. I'm not going to order her to pay you the groceries. I am going to order your aunt to pay you the part of the security deposit you paid, the half of the apartment fee, and the loan, which means that when you move out of there, that's $1,597, which means that when you move out of there, Ms. Raphael, the security deposit that is returned is entirely yours. It does not belong to her, and there's nothing else you have to give her. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff prevails. Raphael, you heard the judge. What do you have to say about that?
I've already paid that amount, but I'll get it back on the back end, so it doesn't matter.
What about the relationship? You said it's okay, you understand you got to give the money back, but you had a great relationship which has really gone sour pretty rapidly here. What happens after this? What do you think?
It's over for me.
It's all over for you.
Yeah, I don't need that
All
type
right.
of relationship in my life. That's not family to me.
Good enough. All right, that's the judge's verdict. You have to live with that. Ms. Brown, how do you feel about this relationship? Looks like it's totally over. I gather you're okay with that.
I was okay with it when I took my name off the lease.
Okay, well, you're going to get most of what you were seeking, so congratulations, and I hope this makes you happy.
Doug, texts are critical in court. And when you are in a dispute, what you text can make or break your case. So think about what you're saying before you write it and send it, because sometimes you can win from text and sometimes you can lose.
Do either of you have a bucket list? If so, what are some of the things on it?
I have never been to Africa. I'd love to go on a photographic safari to Africa.
Yeah.
As I tell you every year.
Every year I go, no, let's
No,
go
not
somewhere
yet.
else.
Let's do something else. I'd love to go to Scotland.
I'm a villain in that one, I know.
What about you?
Me, like you, the bucket list is kind of experiences, you
Right.
know, more than anything. I guess that's generally what they are, but I'd like to play Augusta National Golf Course and maybe the Royal and Ancient Club at St. Andrews in Scotland.
Does any of your bucket lists not involve golf?
Well, you know, the travel. I'd like to travel to the Far East. That's someplace we've never been, and one day I'd love to go there as well.